Hey everybody, and welcome back. Stonebrook Adventure 1971 13-foot Boston Whaler restoration project. We're going to paint the inside. We're going to start working on prepping this thing up, show you all the steps to prep, show you what tools we're going to be using to paint the inside. So here we are at the Daytona Flea Market, going to get our fiberglass supplies. Willie's fiberglass supplies. Real easy, right in the main entrance, right here. This is the guy you want to talk to. That guy right there, tips, tricks, he's the guy. We're gonna get some paint mixed up.
Yes, but I'm also here.
No, it's not bright. It doesn't absorb water.
Yeah, these guys got everything you need. Fiberglass, mat, roving, all kinds of different fiberglass, resins, gel coats. It's like a toy store in here. Everything you need. So here we are at Willie's Fiberglass Supply, Daytona Flea Market. This is where I get my paint. Quantum 99, 2-part polyurethane. I'm going with the CTI blue. He's mixing this up for me right now. Quick overview here. We used the Quantum 99 on the outside. We used just the regular white paint on that, but you can see that just a high gloss, really hard 2-part polyurethane on the outside of that. We had talked at one point about using gel coat, but this polyurethane, just a beautiful look. Right now we've got the inside primed with the TotalBoat TotalProtect 2-part epoxy primer, 3-to-1 ratio. It's a barrier coat and primer, and you can use it with a 2-part polyurethane. We had just a little bit of breakthrough when we were sanding this down, getting this finish nice and smooth. We sanded this thing with 220 grit paper. That way that 2-part poly just lays up on it nice and neat. So now we're gonna wash this thing down one more time. Dish soap, green scrunchie, just to get as much of that sanding residue off as possible. Just do a real good wash on the inside and outside of this so we don't have any dust. All right, we got the dish soap, green scrunchie, plenty of water. We just got to scrub this thing down. Got it all washed down, scrubbed it, rinsed it, scrubbed it. Make sure it's super clean. Now we gotta let this dry off. I'm gonna let it dry off overnight just to make sure that it's good and dry before we go to the next step. The boat's dry. We had to tape it off. So we've got this nice thin plastic here we're using to mask the whole bottom of the boat off, underneath everything. Of course, we want to protect what we've already done from the overspray. So we've taped everything off real nice. A nice fine line right here along this edge. Right, this is going to get covered up by rub rail, so that's where that seam's going to be. You're never going to see that. Taped off real nice, real tight. Everything's ready to go. Tomorrow morning is supposed to be a nice cool day, but some clouds, so it's not going to get real hot in the tent. And we'll paint this thing up tomorrow morning. Check out the link for this VEVOR trailer dolly down below. Thing is awesome. So we got the boat pulled into the paint booth, the VEVOR paint booth. Thing's real nice. It's gonna keep all the dust off everything. We got plenty of ventilation. We got the filters on the side. So our next step, we got this prep ball cleaner, de-waxer. We're gonna wipe this boat down 2 times. We're gonna wipe it down, let this dry, wipe it down again, let it dry, and then we're gonna be ready to paint. What's great about this prep ball is it's a nice solvent that really cleans everything up, but it doesn't evaporate really fast. So if you're using acetone, that acetone's gonna flash off real quick. If you're using alcohol, it's gonna flash off real quick. You got some work time with this. You don't need a lot of it, and it stays on, and you have plenty of time to work with it. So let's go ahead and get to work and start wiping this down. Okay, this is the material, the equipment that we're going to be using for this paint job. We're using the Quantum 99 CTI Blue 8005 color. You're going to see that when that gets done. Real nice color. It kind of stays with the Boston Whaler theme, but it's a little bit nicer looking than the traditional Boston Whaler blue, which is that really kind of that dark blue color. So that's the color paint we're using, right? We're gonna use Quantum 99 activator, 1-to-1 mixture, right? 1-to-1 ratio for spraying. We have our 3M 26689. That's gonna be what we're using for our cleanup afterwards. So we're gonna be using the Harbor Freight Purple HVLP sprayer with that. And instead of using the little container that they give with it, we're using the Spectrum Universal Paint System, Harbor Freight. You get this at Harbor Freight, that at Harbor Freight, that at Harbor Freight. And some of these things we're gonna have a link down below so you can get them online. So we're mixing 1 pint at a time. So we have, actually it's gonna be a half a gallon, 2 quarts. That's gonna give us 4 pints. So we're gonna put 3, maybe 4 coats of paint, and that's gonna cover the inside. We're gonna have a little bit left over, a little bit of extra. We have our paint cups here, and like I say, the Spectrum paint system. So we're gonna start mixing this right now. 8 ounces of paint, 8 ounces of activator. Let's start mixing. As soon as we mix, 5-minute induction time on the Quantum 99. We're gonna sit and wait for everything to blend in nice and smooth for that 5 minutes. Pour it in our little paint cup, put the cap on, put it on, start spraying. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully this thing turns out nice.
We've got to make sure that this paint is mixed really, really well before we even start. Probably should have shook it a little bit, but we'll just mix this up for a few minutes. Make sure everything's good and blended. Nice, smooth color. Get everything off the bottom, top down to the bottom. This 2-part polyurethane is going to be really thin. It's going to be thin like water. Talked to the guys at Willie's, and they said after some experimenting, they don't even use a reducer on this anymore. It's really nice. Actually sprays a little bit better without reducer. You read the instructions, reducer is optional. So depending where you are, temperature, humidity, do some experimenting, but we're not going to use reducer today. You see how thin that is. Okay, so this is the hard part. Try not to make a mess. 8 ounces of paint, 8 ounces of activator. We got our measuring cup. Here we go. I always like measuring in 2 separate cups, and I mix in a different cup. 8 ounces of activator. 8 ounces of paint. We're going to mix this for several minutes.
All right, everything's mixed. We've waited that 5-minute induction time. We've got our little kit here, right? So we're gonna go ahead and dump it, get ready to spray.
Put the lid on. What's nice about this, it has a little fine filter already in the kit, so you really don't need that filter in the gun. Snap the lid on. Put your locking ring on. See how closely how this works. Remember, Don't tilt this and put it on here. You got to turn your gun upside down. Snap it into place here. There we go. You can see how that locks into place. Right. All right. Let's start shooting.
We have 3M spray gun cleaner. Awesome stuff, man. You don't even have to take this thing apart. We're just gonna, look at that, how it cleans it up. Right, spray your gun down after each use. See how clean that is, right? And then we're gonna run this through with some air.
Fill it up. Put down aside there, man. That thing's nice and clean now. So we're ready for the next shoot.
So we're gonna do 3 coats, possibly 4. We're just gonna repeat this step, 45 minutes of set time between each coat. It's gonna take a little while. You know, it's gonna take the rest of the day. We'll be back, show you the finished product. So we just finished up the 3rd coat. 3 coats is all you're gonna need. This thing covered perfect with 3 coats. I would recommend on this is 2 18-ounce batches, 18 ounce for the first coat, 18 ounce for the second coat, and then a 16 ounce for the 3rd coat. You're not gonna need much for that 3rd coat. So yeah, let's take a look. We're gonna have to wait. We're gonna wait about 45 minutes and we're gonna take the tape off of this thing. But yeah, wow, turned out really nice. You can wet sand this polyurethane paint. You know, it's got a little eggshell in it, but I really don't care. If I wanted to wet sand this thing out, slick, smooth, you know, I would, but we'll see what it looks like when it cures up. Yep, take the tape off in a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and peel off this tape. You're just gotta be real careful it doesn't blow back onto the boat. It's still a little, paint's still a little wet. Main thing, we don't want this kind of blowing back onto the boat. Even if it does, we'll be able to kind of wipe that off with something, but it's going to be real careful. But if we don't get this tape off right now, have the potential of it peeling the polyurethane. We don't want to do that. Here in a couple hours, this paint should be dry to the touch. Just be patient, wait for it so we can get this off. Bam, look at that thing. Woo! Super stoked. They say you can wet sand this polyurethane out if you want to. I think I'm going to be happy with it just the way it is. With that little bit of eggshell, I think it's going to be fine. We'll take a look at it when it's done. But yeah, it's all painted. I think the next episode we're going to start working on the wood, start working on the brass. So hope you're happy with it. So from Stonebroke Adventure, until next time, bloop.